These 144,000 masters are under the command of the great mystery of the unspeakable, which is Christ in his highest personification, also called Maitreya, the Buddha of the synthesis, or Krishna. He entered a world of darkness 2,000 years ago in order to become a mortal human being himself. There are many names for the one spirit of the earth. God himself, through his Son, who became human on the lowest plane, was the planetary Logos, the earth's soul out of which emerged all heavens and dimensions, all demigods and all worlds of polarity. After the worlds of polarity in all their dimensions had further separated from him, he incarnated as a human being in order to overcome the separation. Until then, all heavens and gods existed subject to the law of polarity. They were only partial realities on higher levels. Now, all demigods, in order to dissolve their half-truths, have to incarnate. The age of masters and gurus comes to an end, because in the future, every human being will reach his own mastery with the help of his higher self. Now the masters of wisdom are following him in order to achieve their completion, thus embodying the cosmic law of the inner order in flesh and blood. The normal process of becoming a human being, with all its highs and lows, is the greatest mastery, the highest of all virtues. It is the union of compassion, unconditional love, and wisdom. The perfected masters live as ordinary human beings within society and will live as brothers. None of these ascended masters will ever claim again to be master or teacher. They will only describe the process of ascension. They will not distribute new concepts of enlightenment, because the highest wisdom is to honor life as it is, as an expression of divine being. Nothing has to be achieved. Enlightenment is the natural foundation of life, which grows daily through experience and learning. It is the knowledge that we are increasingly realizing who we really are.
When we have resolved this duality of being, for better or for worse, things will be seen differently. Every challenge on this earth, which I personally, along with every human being, must endure, is seen as an opportunity. We should indeed love it unconditionally and even be thankful. This also applies to pain, illness and other chaotic situations on this earth. There is a purpose, and that is all important. We need to look at things differently. It is man who makes judgment. In time and space, or in this unity of all living things, all is God-given. Everything has a purpose. A purpose. If we listen carefully, we will hear it again. It is his purpose. It is his life.
In Zeit und Raum geschehen oder in dieser Einheit mit allem Leben ist alles Gott gewollt, hat alles seinen Sinn.
In the knowledge of the unity of life, or I could refer to it again as grace, there is no positive or negative. We judge the value ourselves, that is, it doesn't exist at a particular level, but our consciousness must develop beyond that. We must no longer look for the good or the not so good. All the darkness, the shadow and light will be arranged in a God consciousness. Everything good and not so good, everything will be arranged. God is the principle, and through him it is possible. We should no longer look at a person to see if he is good or not so good. I see the perfection of God in every person, in all life. Of course, the terminology, the development from God, varies. We do not have a right to direct, not even a right to raise it. Our duty is to glorify God. This unity, this principle of life, which offers perfection, which glorifies, and which sees him in everything. This is the bridge. I would say in the dimension of light, in a new world or in a new house of the Father. This is the only possible way. We must develop beyond ourselves.
Verpflichtung ist es, Gott zu verherrlichen, diese Einheit, dieses Lebensprinzip der Vollkommenheit anzubeten, zu verherrlichen und in allem zu sehen. Das ist die...
My personal experience of Christ consciousness is that on this earth, man receives the light from the Father through Christ, his only begotten Son. He then surrenders himself to God in humility and servitude. This is unlike Buddhism, which says that there is no need to reason, not to come into contact with shadows, because karma will gather there again. I do not see it this way. I must embrace all life which I encounter, and I must serve my neighbour in a state of consciousness. This is once again what is referred to as the washing of the feet. We must sacrifice ourselves for our neighbours, and should it be his or her wish, or should we say his or her circumstance, then also elevate him or her to the throne. This is serving in the vineyard of the Father, and this is how I see it.
As we raise the consciousness and we transform our body from a state of corporeality, which means this type of substance, you see, and as our atoms and as our molecules and as our energies speed up, the DNA system is totally transformed into a higher octave and a higher frequency, so that there is a whole new strain coming in as a result of this. When we're passing through, for instance, the photon belt, there will be no darkness. It's all light. Everything in the body, then, of importance will be etheric in nature as opposed to corporeal or dense or density or whatever, you see. Realities that we accept today will be no more. And so as a result of that, the DNA system and everything which constructs humanness will be changed, because we will now reach for a light body and will be of the light as opposed to darkness and corporeality. So any change that's signified today scientifically or biologically and what have you in the DNA is because of this infusion of new consciousness and new light, which of course is coming in at this point in time. Many of us are, many people already are largely light, although they keep the body of corporeality to do what they have to do here on earth, you see. Many people are already in the fourth dimension. Some are aware and some are not. But that's where we all have to go. And of course, by 2011, as we pointed out, all of us have the option and the privilege, if we choose to do so, of being in the fifth dimension.
The photon belt is an intense field of photon radiation, light radiation, which, both according to several modern astronomers, astrologers, as well as Mayan tradition, emanates from the center of our galaxy, bisects the Pleiades star system and our star system at the same time. And the current period, we are moving in and out of this photon belt, spending several months in it every year. That the frequency that we spend in the photon belt is increasing by approximately 2 weeks every year. And according to the calculations of the Mayan calendar, around the year 2011, 2012 AD, we will be fully within the photon belt, and we will remain within the photon belt until around 4000 AD, according to the current calculations. And some of the work of both Jose Arguelles, other researchers, seems to suggest that the Mayans knew about this cycle, that every so often, many thousand years, we go in and out of the photon belt, that there seem to have been cultural as well as different climactic and earth changes that perhaps were sort of stimulated or affected by the entering and going out of that photon belt in the past history of the earth.
We are changing both DNA and RNA in many of us. Many stones, many vehicles here are changing our chakra systems also. There are no longer 7 chakras in most of us. We are opening up new chakra systems. You'll see much more about this in the next 5 or 10 years also. You'll begin to activate many more of them, and also your DNA and your RNA will not be replicating in the same fashions. There are children who are being born who are conscious when they are born. And this will change also a lot.